Look and pick 'em when I really get to clicking, but I'm looking for a sister to revive and win the kissing. If you want some love, just let me know.
Hi and welcome to Absolute Clarity, the #1 travel management podcast brought to you by Clarity, your business travel experts. I'm your host Kyle Daniels and this season is over, but we're here with a special bonus episode of the show for National Apprenticeship Week, running from the 4th of March to the 8th of March, which is right now. So I thought I would introduce some guests on the show to talk all about it, much more than I can. Obviously, I'm terrible at introducing people, so we'll go around the room and this person you might actually recognise from season 2. So do you want to introduce us who you are?
Thank you for that intro. Hi, I'm Nicky Duffy. I'm National Operations Manager at Clarity. I also take a seat on the sector's apprenticeship board as well.
Okay, and I'm Neil Wainwright-Farrar, and I'm the Learning and Development Manager here at Clarity. I also sit on the course for City and Guilds, and that is doing the independent endpoint assessors for the Travel Consultant Apprenticeship. So I'm assessing apprentices doing their qualification. Clearly I can't do our own because it would be a conflict of interest, and I would say yes, they've passed straight away.
Is that better than yours, Nicky? What he sits on, is that better?
Far better credibility than me, yes.
Yeah. I usually sit at McDonald's, so I cannot say anything. Okay, and our next guest?
I'm Sydney Howard. I'm now a junior BTC. I've just finished my apprenticeship.
Brilliant. And finally?
And I'm Josh. I've also just finished my apprenticeship. I'm a junior business travel consultant from the Barrington Edmonds office.
Oh, welcome. This is the first time we've had 5 people on the show. It's a full house. And it's the first time we've ever recorded 5, so one of you might not get recorded today. We don't know. Just
Can we say bingo?
You say whatever you want,
okay.
As we've proved on this show many times. Let's get a gist of National Apprenticeship Week and why are we celebrating a whole week of it? What's the...
Well, obviously, when a young person starts the career, they need a lot of help and advice and direction on what they should do, where they should go. And of course, when you are in a business and you want young people to work for you, then National Apprenticeship Week is a good way of trying to get, young talent within in our business and industry.
Yeah, it's raising the profile of how good an apprenticeship scheme is. And just raising completely the awareness of what apprenticeships are, how they work, what industries you can move into. So a real good initiative.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a week, but we do promote it all year round, I'm guessing.
Of course. I mean, we were leaders within our sector for introducing apprenticeships into the industry. I think myself and Neil do quite a lot of lobbying and quite a lot of promotion. We work with ABTA, the GTMC. We speak at conferences on this topic and try and help out people and guide other businesses on how to run a successful apprenticeship programme.
And would you say that Clarity are really forthcoming in that, in pushing you guys to get involved in the apprenticeships and doing those things like speaking at certain events and conferences? And
definitely, yeah. Because I think it's something which, Clarity have always been at the forefront of wanting apprentices. I think we remember a day when Pat, our CEO, obviously was talking about, we want to put apprentices in, and he was like, get it right. If you're going to do it, get it right kind of thing. So, ever since then, me and Nicky have worked really well with each other to mould, obviously, the lovely Josh and Sydney into what they are now today.
Yeah, and I think it's just worth pointing out as well that, the old apprenticeship scheme, I mean, back in the day when Neil was an apprentice, it would have been called the
3 years ago, that is obviously.
That would have been called the YTS scheme. I think it's developed somewhat since then days. But no, on a serious note, the old apprenticeship scheme was based on an MVQ qualification. And I think it's safe to say the MVQ qualification for travel was not very well.
It wasn't really fit for purpose, was it?
No, it didn't suit our needs as a business. It was very retail focused, but even for retail, it was a bit outdated.
Yeah.
So I think me and Neil, once we got the nod from Pat to say yes, he's all out for us to develop talent, bring young people into our industry. We wanted to make sure that we found, learn our subject matter, get involved in everything that we could get involved in. So we sat on the Trailblazers scheme, which was a group of people sat around a room from the industry, along with People First, and we actually designed the new qualification qualification. So what is it that we want to look for from a business travel consultant? What skills does that young person need when they're entering your business? And we pretty much designed the qualification that the guys are using now.
Yeah, so very much it's an employer-led qualification, so it's basically been written and put together by employers, so meaning that it is up to date and it's very consistent with what it needs to be within the industry. Gone are the old days of the old YTS scheme. Thank you, Nicky.
Just out of interest, Neil, how much did you used to get paid on a YTS?
Right, okay, so...
Is it shillings?
So...
Half penny.
Could be.
Penny.
£40 a week for the first year and £50 a week for the second year. And I was loaded because everybody used to borrow money from me. And
used to steal it from the tills.
Shh, don't tell anyone about those days.
Weren't you a lump Polly dolly?
I was a lump Polly dolly, yes. Lump Polly dolly with a lovely red and white, or pink and white stripes. And I gave my grey jacket to my granddad. It was that bad. It was that bad. I had the curtains as well, you know, and the hairstyle.
Oh, like Nick Carter.
The curtains, oh yeah.
Like Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
I used to try for the curtains. I used to wake up at this is not going live at all. I used to wake up.
No, it is.
I used to wake up early. I used to gel. Cause you used to get that gel for like 50 pages, and it was just wet look.
Yeah.
And I used to gel it right down, and you'd wait like half an hour, and then you'd just run your hands through it, and it'd flop into like a little love heart curtain.
You see, all these young apprentices now are looking at you thinking you are so not cool.
I'm not at all. Even before the curtain story.
You weren't cool.
This wasn't cool.
Okay.
This was not cool at all. So how long have you guys been apprentices for Clarity now?
Just nearly, it'll be 3 years in September.
Wow. And they're still paying you £40?
Still paying me less than that. I don't know where he's got £40 from. It's less than that.
Less than that, all right.
No, on a serious note, we actually pay our apprentices very well. Obviously, I'm not going to say the rates, but it is over the government average.
Definitely over
so,
the national minimum wage for an apprentice.
I think just for businesses out there who want to take on apprentices, you know, I think if you want good apprentices and you want to keep apprentices, then, you know, I think, you know, you do need to pay over what the recommended amount is, because obviously there's quite a lot of apprentices out there. The better ones will go for the better money.
I think it's about £3.70 roughly an hour, which is the national minimum wage for an apprentice, which ours obviously sits
£3.71.
Yeah, well, I'm not being funny. Beggars can't be choosers, can they?
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you've always got to be an extra 40p a week. You don't know, do you?
See, Josh has been able to buy 2 more jumpers now because of that.
I know.
Actually, I keep the same jumper all year round.
Okay.
Frugal.
You do wash it though, don't you?
Yeah, I turn it inside out for Tuesday, and then the other way around for Wednesday, and then...
Upside down. Pants for Friday. It's got to be a bit wild on a Friday, haven't you?
Yeah.
So how long have you been with us, Josh?
It'll be 4 years in August.
Oh, wow.
I've been here.
So, Josh, just about your journey there, because I know that before this qualification was designed, I think we put you on the business admin qualification.
I did that for my first year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was the old MVQ type of... Yeah. What's the difference between the two? Because it's interesting for people to understand the difference between that first qualification and this new standard.
I felt that it was a bit more business travel orientated, more around this time than last time, but there's also more... It covered a little bit more on like the geographical side of where everything is, and kind of a little bit dipped into a bit of leisure as well, which I felt was very different compared to the first year when I did it, and it kind of made it a bit more interesting because you're kind of learning a lot more than what you were learning beforehand.
So a bit more variety.
Yeah, there's a lot more content compared to the first year that I did.
Okay, good.
And what about yourself?
I never did the other one, so I just started on the whole Trailblazers scheme, and it was perfect. I enjoyed every bit of it, so nothing really didn't interest me about it, and kept me kind of concentrated on it and things like that. So.
What's the best part about it obviously from you coming in? And this is your first apprenticeship, I take it.
It is, yeah. I never did travel. This just kind of fell lovely into my lap, and I was very happy to receive it.
Did you think you were going to be travelling more, and then you've been brought up to Manchester, and you're like, what is going on?
I was like, oh,
this is rubbish.
No, so it was entirely new to me, but I don't know. I just think I like Josh. I enjoyed a lot more of the geographical side because I never had that knowledge. I thought I did expect it to be admin, customer service, and it was a lot of different categories.
Do you feel like there's more practical skill in what you're learning?
Yeah, I think so. There was a lot more on the job, and then a lot of it, I didn't think a lot of it would tie in. Sometimes you'd sit there and think, well, this is leisure, but sometimes you'd go back to the office and then the next day somebody'd ring and you'd know exactly what they meant, so it was really good.
One thing to note with Sydney is that Sydney's intake of that year was literally the qualification got its approval on the 31st of July, and literally we were recruiting sort of like apprentices onto this particular this travel consultant apprenticeship. So we were the very first travel employer to do that.
Yeah.
We wanted to be the forefront of it. We wanted to make sure that obviously it really worked for us, and I think really just to be noticed within the industry was great. And obviously both Josh and Sydney went on to that travel consultant apprenticeship and have done amazing with it.
Yeah, so they were kind of our first ever
I want to say guinea pigs, but
apprentices to take the brand new qualification. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. So as a company, we were kind of building the training plan around the individuals and you know how they tailored and took towards the qualification. So now we've got a fantastic program, and with the help of both Sydney and Josh to make that happen. So then they have just done their qualification now. So I mean, never a prouder moment to actually get over the finish line. How does that feel for you?
It was amazing to get it finished. It felt like a long process, but at the same time, it went so fast. So it was great.
Yeah, it's really, really like it's kind of nice just to kind of get that certificate and just kind of hold it.
Yeah.
And just be like, yes, I have done it. I can finally
4 years
4
for
years.
this.
A bit of card, yeah.
And I do
card? Oh, they've gone all out.
Posh, it was embossed. It was lovely.
And I do have the evidence to prove that he's got his certificate with lovely Lynn from Berry as well as. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got some nice
Have you had
photos.
yours, Sydney?
Yeah.
I need a photograph. I need a photograph of you and Leanne.
Yes.
Not for anywhere in the office. For home.
No, just
Not to throw darts
Just to
at.
prove to his family that he does something. It's like, no, guarantee these people are real. Sydney, were you a finalist at an awards recently?
Yes, yeah, I was. I went to the Every Woman Awards. I was in.
I take it Josh wasn't at that one.
No, yeah,
No.
yeah, just missed out, unfortunately. Yeah,
So
but
close. So you were the finalist, so...
yes, I
Right,
was.
okay. And where was that?
London. It
London.
was. So yeah, I went and did an interview process in London with the Every Woman board and team, and then I got a call through to say I was a finalist, and I went to the awards show.
Incredible. Did you guys go with her?
No, we sent
Oh,
Leanne,
probably
branch
day.
manager,
Done your
because
bit.
it was a nice day out. They got to earn awards. They went to stay over in London, which was a lovely, lovely treat as well. So well done for that, Sydney.
Thank you.
And just on that, obviously you had to separate yourself from being an exceptional performer within Clarity and the apprenticeship programme to be nominated for that award in the first place.
Amazing.
What qualities and what drives you? What drives that that performance in a young person?
Honestly, I don't know.
Money.
I've never,
She wants to say.
money.
£40 a week, she wanted
A
42.
job. hint a job.
I'm working on it. It's that £50, that's what she's going for.
No, honestly, I don't even know. That's always been how I've been. I've never wanted to do less. I've always wanted to do the best that I can. So.
Yeah, and I think, with the skills of young people coming in the workplace, they develop. Well, they bring a lot of different skills to the table. So the pace that they work is fast. We come from a digital era. So, I think you guys did that at school. I think when Neil went to school, he had the chalkboard.
We didn't even have the calculators in them days.
I was going to say, I think we were talking on the previous show about phones. We didn't even have phones.
No,
in
we
high school.
didn't. And I think when you had a phone back in the day, it had a huge antenna on it.
Yeah.
And it was the size of a brick.
Yeah,
you
those old
remember those days?
Motorola's, remember? With just a thin screen. You got a text, you're like, I can't remember the first part of it. I've got 6 words in and I've gone.
Carl, we're acting so old now. This is the apprenticeship week.
Oh, God. I feel a bit sick.
It's not grab a granny week, is it?
I wish. Is that why Nicky's here? So, Josh, you were asked to speak at the ABTA conference?
Yeah, the APTA conference,
Yeah.
Back, I can't remember when it was, a long time ago now, to be honest.
How was that? How
But
did you find it?
It was scary initially, the thought of having to stand up in front of loads of people that I was a little bit nervous beforehand, but kind of once I got going, It was actually it was all right.
We got some good feedback from you.
Yeah, I heard I had some good feedback, which was really, really nice.
Humble. Oh, I've heard I was great. I don't know about you guys. Did all right.
Cocksure.
I know. I'm going to say.
But you see, it's really nice that the apprentices are not just coming in to do an apprenticeship programme, to do the job. We give them the skills to do the job, but it's not just about that. It's about their career. It's about investing in them. And I think what we do well at Clarity is we make sure that we're investing in the individuals. Hence, we've got 2 people around the table today talking for Apprenticeship Week who've been through the apprenticeships. We use our apprentices, we put our apprentices out there. I think, Sydney, you did part of a video with the GTMC based on the millennials.
Yes.
And how was that?
That was it was exciting. It was quite nerve-wracking going in and meeting everyone, but there was a lot of other obviously young people there, and you got to hear different experiences. So lots of different types of travel and what people book, but it was exciting, yeah.
And do you have supportive managers in your branches that can really help you with this stuff?
Definitely.
I always pushed. If there's a deadline, you have to meet it. You've got to do the best you can, and really supportive of everything you do. Yeah.
So how do the managers support you? I know especially Lynn in your branch, Lynn Kidd from the Bury St Edmunds branch. She has developed quite a lot of apprentices within your branch. She's done an extremely good job. What makes her so good? Yeah, what makes her so good? What qualities is it that she brings to the table?
She's very calm when something, and you can always rely on her if something is kind of going a little bit pear-shaped, that she'll always help you and kind of offer advice. And you can also, when something is not going well, she's just very helpful.
She smashes things. You can tell us, Josh. Does she break things? Does she throw stuff a lot?
She's really supportive.
She is supportive. She's supportive for everyone really, and kind of it's not just Lynn in the office. Everyone in the Bury St Edmunds office is really, really helpful.
It's a good bunch.
It's really, really, really helpful, down to earth, and kind of all guide you through how to do it. And before me, I had Liam, who I think he left a while ago as well.
He went travelling, didn't he?
He went travelling around the world, and he was brilliant before me, because he's been through it all as well, and he helped guide me through it as well.
But you've then been able to share your experiences with obviously Kerry and Freya as well as. But it's great the fact that you have actually got other people who have come in after you as well as. How have you shared your experiences and skills and knowledge with them?
In a lot of ways, really, kind of using the system, how to kind of cope with difficult scenarios, and how to kind of do bookings and everything like that. If they're getting stuck, then they know that they can ask me for help, just like I could ask Liam. But it's not just me, it's like everyone else in the branch, as I mentioned earlier, that everyone chips in, everyone helps out each other really, and we all kind of work well as a team, which definitely helps.
Taught them how to avoid Lynn's throwing. Just duck to the left.
I think she did a stint of working in Greece as well, didn't she? So she should be good.
You play throwing. It's all coming out now.
She was also an English teacher, wasn't she, in Japan?
That's right, Japan. Yeah.
You see, have you not noticed the people who are in travel have done little weird and wacky things throughout the career to get?
What have you done that's weird and wacky, Nicky?
Oh,
this seems like you're kind of bringing it out. Did you feature on a talent show by any chance?
Yeah, I did. That was back in the day. Obviously, what they say, people in travel are all failed performers, aren't they? That's why they move into travel.
How dare you! So what TV talent show were you on, Nicky?
Oh, it was ages ago. It was the old Pop Idol.
Pop Idol. She was in Girls Aloud. You heard it here first. She was Cheryl Tweedy got her in a toilet, and then suddenly she was out of the girl group.
On a serious note, I think when you leave school and you want to, you explore different avenues, and not necessarily you go into the right field first of all. I just knew that I was never a studier, I was not one of these that was going to progress to university, because I was more of a doer. I wanted to be shown something, and then more practical. Yeah. More practical skills as opposed to sat there studying. And I think everybody is very, very different. I think what we've tried to do with the apprenticeship programme is really mix it up, haven't we, Neil? We try and keep them engaged by mixing it up somewhat.
Yeah, and to a certain degree, we can obviously, when we're recruiting people, we don't always just look for somebody who's either done something at college with travel and tourism. You know, we will look at both those kind of candidates, but we'll also look at people who've come straight from school with no experience as well. And I think the way that the actual training runs as well is we try and make it very much interactive. We try and mix it up. We were just talking about technology before, so both Josh and Sydney would obviously know that we like to do different Kahoot quizzes, and they can get the mobile phones out and test the knowledge about different things. So actually, you know, testing actually, have they been listening? Have they actually learned and understood certain things? So I suppose, do you like those kind of things? Does it mean that it's a bit more engaging for you too?
Imagine if you said no now. How much would that destroy you in learning and development?
That's why we have edits, Kyle. That's why you're in the room.
Them, Neil. I'm sick and tired of them. Stupid quiz. Getting my phone out, wasting my data.
Of course I'm going to say yes. It's very helpful.
Well done, Josh. You've been here a whole time.
What do you like then as apprentices, guys? What is it like? Okay, from all the different variety of what you do, and I know a few of you've been to educational visits and different things along the way. Like, what is it that you really enjoy as part of the programme?
I kind of like the kind of actually doing it, because I remember when I first started, I went to Amsterdam Airport for a tour with KLM.
You did,
This was back when I was in my first year in November, and that was brilliant. That was because I went there for the morning and came back on the same day, and that was brilliant. Really, because I got to kind of visit, like go on board the aircraft as they were kind of cleaning it, and kind of got to sit in the cockpit and everything. And that was really, really good.
You didn't have to clean the aircraft as well as part of the
No, they didn't trust us to do that.
Educational.
They just let us in the cockpit. They thought, go away from the cleaning area.
But that was a good experience.
It was brilliant.
And I think that is really, really important. I think that, Neil, you know, we building it into our apprenticeship programmes, a full educational.
Yeah, I mean, something that we've obviously, you know, developed over time since Josh and Sydney as well is the fact that we now run an educational trip to London, and that's really getting the apprentices to understand what it's like as a business traveller. So actually, are they going in to see maybe how to collect a ticket on departure from the train station, what it's like? Do you actually need that credit card? Do you need the debit card just to get it, or do you need a magnetic strip? Then we'll obviously show them different hotels, how to check in, what the experience is. Because again, when you're talking to clients, one of the key things that you need to do is make sure you know what you're talking about and what they're going to experience. So this year we're trying to look at doing a bit more planes, trains and automobiles. So we're trying to get them to obviously see more around a train station, how to collect the TOD, and a little bit more understanding how a train operation runs. Then we're looking at doing a variety of different car hire trainings. And then the plan will be, if it all pulls off, is that we'll get them over to Heathrow and again show them how passengers transfer between different airports in terms of if they've say flown Manchester to Heathrow to the US, then actually how do they transfer? What does the lounge look like there? Can we get them on board an aircraft to clean that aircraft like Josh?
Get a bit of money back.
So that's the kind of thing. It's raising their awareness. So again, it sits very much as part of their product knowledge as the apprenticeship, but actually all of that is real good to experience that themselves. Hand on hand.
Yeah. I want to cover some stats actually about National Apprenticeship Week, because I think you were talking to me just before the show, Nicky, about in 2018 there were 22,308. We do loads of research on the show. Apprenticeships, and that was in hospitality, hotel groups, aviation, travel. Yeah. For travel alone, it was 421. Now, I know a lot of that will be retail because we combine the two.
Yeah, I think this is one of the big points for us, because obviously fresh in 2017, they introduced the government levy. So those with a huge payroll bill, all our competitors and people within the industry will pay a government levy tax. Now, it's quite a tax, it is quite a tax. I think just in 2018, we, as a business, paid around 60,000, and that ends up a tax unless you can utilise that tax back. The only way you can utilise the tax back is by having and taking on apprenticeships, and then that tax is then used to provide training for the apprentices. So it's really, really, really important for the businesses out there, especially the big businesses that are paying the levy and not using the money back for apprentices, that they need to really, take a look at it and start to use it, because some of these, especially the apprentices that are coming through the programme, they're very productive. They have a fantastic skill set, very quick, come from a digital age, so they just get the systems and the digital, all the new systems and apps that we're trying to roll out to business travellers. They just get it. So I think they are, they're a fantastic talent to have within the business. And I think that if companies aren't utilising their money that they're paying to the government, then it's such a waste.
Well, it's a case of, like, if the company's not using it, it's use it or lose it. So, they've forked out all that money and they've done nothing with it. So why would you do that? If they want to give me 60 grand a year, I'm more than happy.
I was going to say, guys, if they ever mention about having no budget again for training stuff, but you got 60 grand. Take me to Corfu.
Josh, what would you do with 60 grand?
Oh,
keep it
never
clean,
see me
Josh.
again, I don't think.
I was done. That's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, know where your loyalties lie. That's your appraisal done. What about you, Sydney? What would you do? Leave as well, I imagine. That's.
Oh, never. No, not at all. Keep that in. Keep that.
How about bribe Neil to win an award?
Yeah. For me, I'd like that. Yes, please. Yeah.
Don't just get your money out. I'm not a problem.
Better be good. Folding money, none of this coin stuff. We have a yearly staff conference, and I know there's awards at the staff conference. I've never won one, so I don't care about them too much. But
bitter though, right? Yeah.
Not bitter at all. It's like it's not even been nominated. We do have one for apprenticeships, don't we? We do have one for that.
Yeah, we have
forward thinking. Yeah,
forward
thinking. I think Josh was nominated one of the years.
Yes.
Didn't win it.
Didn't quite win it. It was Connor, I think, who ended up winning it, and that was 2017.
So you still work it?
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does, right, okay.
Which branches
Couldn't have got us an award winner on the panel, do you know what I mean?
Well, so basically we want to try and make sure that, from Clarity's point of view, that we recognise apprenticeships, within Clarity, and the way that we do that is through the awards that we offer. And luckily for the person who wins, they will get to go on an all expenses paid trip to somewhere lovely in the world. So last year was so Kerry from your office, Josh, she managed to get herself over to, was it Abu Dhabi?
I think it was.
Abu Dhabi. Wow, what an amazing
somewhere with
experience.
camels and deserts, I think it was anyway. So.
What an amazing experience for a young person. I think they actually they travel business class as well, so got to experience the
makes me more better.
Front end cabin. So we have our awards ceremony looming. It's coming up in the next few weeks.
Have you guys nominated yet?
I have nominated.
Yes. Nominations are closed.
Yeah, Kerry won last year, so this year the nominations are up, and I'm actually quite excited to see who's going to win it.
Have you guys ever been nominated for awards?
Do you know? I think we. I can't say I've ever won an award.
Nikki, it's either yes
or no, innit, really?
Do you know?
You've been nominated
or you didn't?
No, I haven't actually.
All right, then you got
How
nominated.
rubbish is that?
I have. So again, maybe I trumped Nikki again with regards to the independent endpoint assessor as well.
Who takes bribes for nominating for awards? Because
I think
I think that's probably the way to go for me. Hey,
20 in a haircut, you said. Did you win the award?
Nah.
That look on your face.
Do you know how you feel bitter? Yeah, same.
Who won? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Eileen from Out of Hours, so another really worthy winner. She got to go to somewhere nice and I didn't. I just had to work for £40 a week still.
Yeah.
And can I just say, his face was the right picture, when you see somebody who doesn't win.
It was a case of, well done, you.
Did you go to stand up and then, God's sake.
I was already on stage. And they said to me, you've not won, Neil. I was like, oh, okay.
All right, fine, forget you. Again, not even once nominated. Loads of categories. Loads.
Potentially, you could be nominated this next year.
Yeah, find out in season 3. If there's no season 3, you know what's happened. I have not been nominated. I'm out. Me and Josh are taking a 60 grand and we're off. What we'll do, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back because we've got a little special segment to cover the first, best and worst. So we'll see you soon.
Hearts and Minds is about how we combine hard metrics with human understanding Technology with local knowledge, the brightest analysts with the best account managers. We want to change the way we do business travel, bringing hearts and minds together, improving experience without increasing cost. A manifesto for a more balanced approach to business travel. Download your copy now at claritybusinesstravel.com today.
Okay, and welcome back. Now, before we get into our final segment, what I thought would be good just to get a little bit of advice maybe from you guys in terms of for people who want to get into apprenticeship program and how they go about doing it.
I think the best thing I'd advise is don't just go for something because you're looking to get a job. It's got to be something that you know you're going to work hard towards. You've got to be passionate about it, and I think you've got to consider as well that what you get out of it. So you get this with Clarity, we've got on-set learning, we've got the geographical knowledge, we've got that side, and we've also got all our system knowledge and everything that we've picked up. So you've got to be able to take on a lot of information as well.
Josh?
I kind of echo the same way as Sydney. Really, you've got to make sure they actually want to work in travel industry, because there's a lot to take in. Like when I first started, I was like, oh my god, it was kind of chucked into the deep end. I was like, oh, okay, right, mental breakdown. But
We didn't really.
Yeah.
I didn't really. It's absolutely fine. It's nothing to be scared about. And I thought it's just just have to work hard, just be patient. Kind of your time will come, basically, to kind of. Yeah.
Isn't it just funny though? Because I'm just trying to remember back when I was an apprentice, and my brain cells do go back that far. But yeah, I remember that one moment you're leaving school and you are then chucked in this workplace where customers, we had back then face-to-face customers. Obviously you have customers on the telephone, email, communication. But yeah, it's just a real difference, isn't it, when you're leaving school and then you come in the workplace, and it's quite daunting at first. But then all of a sudden the penny drops and you can just do your job, can't you? But it takes time. So like what piece of advice, when you that first section, that the first month or so when you're first coming into the workplace from school, what advice would you give an apprenticeship then?
I think initially you have to have a good idea of what's set out for yourself. You've got to know that this is what you want to do, so then the determination follows, the passion follows, you have your ambition to grow just as the apprenticeship, to do the best you can, basically. And then I think, I never worked in retail, so I didn't have any experience. So the thing that scared me the most was customer service, speaking to people. So I sat and watched that phone on my desk for so long, just really frightened to finally pick it up. Like, oh no, please don't speak to me.
What does it do? And it helps, doesn't it? Because I think we do like things like your call listening, just to listen to one of your colleagues in the office, take that phone call. What does a customer ask for? How do we deliver? And then you do just get it, don't you? After a lot of prep, a lot of shadowing, a lot of coaching.
I think with the phone, I was scared the line that you have at the start, presenting yourself, I'm going to be who you're dealing with. Yeah. And I thought, I'm going to stutter, I'm going to mess it up, I'm going to just answer it and go, hi, you all right? What do you want? But as soon as I picked up the phone, it was just like, because I'd done so much prep, I just knew.
You go into like an automatic pilot, don't you, with it? And it's like just second nature, all the skills that you've picked up and acquired, and like you're told to pick up a call, and it's like, whoa, I can do this. Do you know? It's the reality that you what you've learned, you can put into practice.
The first calls are great because, we listen to your first calls and just laugh about them all the time.
Oh, brilliant.
We've actually got one just to listen to now if you want to.
Here's one I made earlier.
So the final section that we're going to talk about, we usually do a first, best and worst travel scenarios, but it's not really going to work on this show. So what I wanted to do was find out what you wanted to be when you grew up. So, I don't know if Nicky and Neil can remember this far back.
It's quite tough for me, to be honest with you. But growing up, I used to love horses. I used to go out and help out at local stables and mucking out and, riding and different things like that. No, don't pardon the pun there, will you? Anything like that. It's funny when you laugh at your own jokes. So for me...
Someone's got to, Neil.
So for me, I actually wanted to be a jockey. So don't laugh about the size of how tall I am. I'm not like what is it?
How tall are you, Neil? Just for the people listening.
3'2". No. Okay, 5'6" and 3/4.
Isn't that tall for a jockey though?
It probably is. It's
Yeah.
quite tall.
Really
Yeah.
tall.
I think they're only about
picture
5'3",
you being a
5'4".
jockey.
Could you?
Not for normal humans, but for a jockey. Okay, so Josh, what did you want to be?
Okay, so when I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor, but unfortunately, because I always grew up like watching like TV shows like Doctor Who, stuff like that. So I want to be that. And then I kind of got into high school and thought I'm not clever enough for this. So I kind of went into, not that travel was like a backup.
Yeah.
No, but
Definitely
travel.
not.
I see the connection there, because Doctor Who is somebody who travels in a TARDIS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, if you can't be a doctor, you're gonna go into travel.
Next best thing?
Yeah.
I didn't realise you were a Whovian. Is that what they call them?
Hoovian.
Hoovian.
Is
What?
that, I
Is that
thought
what
not a
they call
horse's
them?
hoof.
No, a Doctor Who fan, is it? A Whovian?
A Hoovian.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You know your stuff.
Never watched an episode of it. Honest to God. So Sydney.
Oh, I think at first I wanted to be a lawyer, but not because that was, the career path I've chosen. My mum and dad were made up, wow, a lawyer, loads of money. But it was only because I watched Legally Blonde and I thought that she was pretty cool. But then I'm not blonde and
Not a lawyer.
it wasn't working.
Don't have a chihuahua.
No, don't have a dog. I don't know anything about hair. So
But do you like
it's
the colour
nothing.
pink?
No.
Oh, you
So I was
see.
like,
Don't you?
straight down the bin.
Credentials weren't there.
No.
Oscar-worthy performance there by Reese Witherspoon.
Brilliant, yeah.
It was incredible. Nikki?
Okay, what did I want to be? Do you really want to know?
Yeah. I'm guessing the fifth member of Girls Aloud wasn't the hope in the dream.
I did say before that you chop and change your mind quite frequently. Okay, so when I was at school, and I'm talking like 13, something like that, again, stemmed from a movie
What,
that
you
I
were
watched.
going to say 13 years ago then? I was like, are you having a laugh?
30 years ago, more
Yeah,
like Nicky.
13 years ago. They're adding years on me here. So when I was 13, it stemmed from watching a movie. I think it was Apollo 13. I wanted to be an astronaut. Don't laugh.
She likes to float around.
It's in with the theme of travel, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to
so...
travel to get there.
Yeah. Blue sky thinking, they encourage that these days.
Yeah.
And, an astronaut.
What part of being an astronaut?
I don't know, I think I just watched a movie and I thought it looked really cool.
I thought Kevin Bacon and Tom Hanks were just
If you believe they put a woman on the moon.
quality.
I could sing it, but I won't.
Yeah. Nikki will.
No,
She
we're
doesn't
not.
know yet,
Well,
but
I'll
that's
save
going
that
to
for later.
They put a woman on the moon.
Doesn't have the same ring to it,
Doesn't
does it?
no, it doesn't. No, you
Same
have to be a
to it.
man then.
Girl on the moon could do.
A girl on the moon.
Oh, Cece, I'm young now, am I?
Maybe not. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, you can follow us at clarity_BT. Also, there's at Life at Clarity that people can follow us and you find out all about apprenticeships and stuff like that there. You can go to the website, claritybusinesstravel.com. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on all that good stuff.
And just for the record, we are taking on our next intake of apprentices. So if you are interested, please get in touch.
And how did you do that?
They can contact our recruitment team at Clarity, or they can obviously go onto our website and look out for further information about all our apprenticeships that we offer.
Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.